She sat in front of the cameras, calm on the outside, but the question that came next caught even her off guard. Alex Eala was about to be compared to someone she never imagined standing next to. And her answer? It said more than anyone expected. Hit subscribe and tap the bell right now, because what she said next is something every Filipino fan needs to hear. It happened during her pre-tournament press conference at the 2026 Cincinnati Open. A reporter brought up a name that's been quietly circulating across social media for weeks, a name so big, so legendary, that most athletes would freeze just hearing it mentioned in the same sentence as their own. But before we get to that moment, let's set the scene. Alex Eala had just arrived in Cincinnati for the very first time, preparing for her tournament debut as the number 17 seed, the highest seeding of her career. She looked relaxed, almost unaware of what was coming. The press conference started normally enough. She was asked about the most surreal moment of her past few months, and she named two without much hesitation: the second week of Wimbledon and standing on stage with global superstar Bad Bunny. Almost as an afterthought, she added a third: winning her first title in Washington. For most players, that title would be the headline of the year. For Eala, it was just one of 3 unforgettable moments in a whirlwind season. Then came the question that changed everything. A reporter described how people are starting to talk about Eala's impact the exact same way they once talked about a certain Filipino icon, someone whose fights would empty the streets of the entire Philippines, with everyone glued to a screen, united by one name. That name was Manny Pacquiao. The room went quiet for a moment. And Eala's reaction? It was telling. She paused, visibly aware of just how heavy that comparison was. What she said next revealed a side of her that most fans have never seen. She called Pacquiao a sporting legend, someone who paved the way for athletes like her. Then she admitted something surprisingly vulnerable, that it never once crossed her mind, watching his fights growing up, that one day people would mention her name next to his. But she didn't stop there. And this is where it gets interesting. In a moment of real honesty, Eala explained that while the comparison is flattering, she sees her journey and Pacquiao's as 2 completely different paths. Not competing. Not replacing. Just different. She said neither one takes away from the other, and that both carry their own kind of beauty. Then came the line that caught everyone off guard, the one that revealed just how grounded this 21-year-old really is. She said she believes she's still very far from reaching the levels Pacquiao achieved. Think about that for a second. This is someone who, just weeks earlier, became the first Filipino player in history to win a WTA Tour singles title. And yet, faced with the biggest compliment of her career, her instinct wasn't pride, it was humility. But the press conference didn't stop there either. She was also asked what Filipino culture means to her, and her answer might be even more revealing than the Pacquiao moment. She described it in just 5 words: community, family, hospitality, love, and kindness. Then she opened up about a recent trip back home, her first time reconnecting with fans in person in a while, and how it completely changed her understanding of her own impact. She admitted something most athletes wouldn't say out loud, that being constantly on tour keeps her somewhat disconnected from what's actually happening back in the Philippines. But going home, meeting fans face to face, hearing their stories about how her journey affected their lives, she called it eye-opening. She said it's crazy how inspiration can reach such depths, and that experiencing it firsthand hit her in a way social media never could. There was also a lighter moment when she was asked how she prepares for a city she's never even visited. Her answer was refreshingly simple. She just goes with the flow. Different cities bring different crowds, different energy, but once she's on court, none of that changes what she has to do. And then, one question in particular seemed to reveal exactly where her mind is right now, heading into the most important stretch of her season. She was asked if she believes in momentum, this close to the US Open. Her answer was surprisingly measured. She said momentum is real, that it can boost confidence, but it guarantees nothing. For her, success isn't about how many matches she wins. It's about whether she played the level of tennis she set out to play. Finally, toward the end, the questions turned deeply personal. She was asked about the weight of the growing spotlight, whether it feels heavy or whether it's still fun. Her answer captured exactly where she is in her journey right now. She said it's both. Some moments are heavy. Some are fun. But she's aware this is a crazy experience, and she's trying to take it all in while she still can. She also said something worth remembering, that she wouldn't be having any of these experiences if she hadn't put in the work beforehand, and that the work has to continue if she wants it all to continue too. So here's where things stand. Alex Eala steps into her Cincinnati Open debut carrying the weight of a nation's expectations, a historic Wimbledon run, a maiden WTA title, and now, a comparison to one of the greatest Filipino athletes of all time. The question is no longer just how far she can go in this tournament. It's what kind of legacy she's quietly building, one press conference, one match, one honest answer at a time. So tell us, is the Pacquiao comparison fair? Or is Alex Eala forging something entirely her own? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to follow every step of her Cincinnati Open journey, make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on, because this story is only just getting started.